Oh, hi. I'm in a bad mood. So why don't we just talk about, like, the worst failings of other people and talk about the worst video games known to man? Obvious choice to start, but Sonic 06. What hasn't been said about this game other than it's a glitchy mess that barely even functions as a game and is more irritating than fun? I'll be honest, I can't think of anything original to say other than that. I mean, I know full well I'll be talking about this game someday in the future, so I'll just pretend it doesn't exist now. However, I will say one thing. It tried to be good, but it failed. Oh yeah, and Sonic kissed a human, that's fucking gross. Big Wig, Over the Road, Hill, whatever it's called, Racing, always gets credited as the worst video game ever. I don't know, I mean, it's got this fun type of, like, dumbness to it where, how can I hate it? It's just funny. Yeah. Relationship ended with Sonic Adventure 2. Big Rigs is my new favourite game. I could also talk about The Sims 2 Apartment Pets, but the day I discuss that will only be when for some godforsaken reason the fate of the world depends on it. But luckily that won't happen, so here's a controversial take for the worst game ever made. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Why? It's not very good, and here's why. It sucks. Of course, I could go into more detail. The story's dumb, it makes little sense. The Pokemon introduced are forgettable mostly, minus a few. The battle gimmick is nowhere near as good as Megas or Z-moves, or even Terra types in the next games. And why would I say that this is one of the worst games, when really, it's still fun? Well, the thing is, Pokemon's meant to be held in high regard. It's meant to be way better than that. So while it may not be the worst mechanically speaking, it's definitely the worst disappointment-wise. Mostly. So I'm not very, fond of Sword and Shield. I'll go back and play it maybe one day, but since the day Scarlet and Violet came out, I have not gone back to Galar since. So, yeah. The worst bit's how it's based on the UK, and instead of having the best Pokemon game ever, they wasted the UK setting and made one of the worst Pokemon games ever. If, of course, you want to go looking for the actual worst game, just go on the App Store. I'm sure Voodoo will find something to make you just want to throw the fuck up. But they can be fun time wasters for the most part. I mean, for what they are, they can't be the worst. They're just some crappy mobile game. Of course, they are just cash grabs mostly, but oh well. And then you get games like The Simpsons Tapped Out or Family Guy, The Quest for Stuff, which are, town building simulators. Well, really, they're less of a game and more of a loading screen simulator. That said, that does actually already exist, and funny enough, it is a lot better than those two. I mean, they're just full of microtransactions, and they're not good. They're not. They make a bad game. And I don't even see Loading Screen Simulator as a game, more as some kind of really abstract, weird piece of art. So then, yeah. Then we have Bubsy 3D. I mean, so many people could argue that it's the worst game ever made. And it very well could be, but I am so sick and tired of people bringing it up, I just don't care. So what could the worst game be? Could it be Wii Music? That's hardly even a game. No, it has Mii's in it, how could it be the worst? Could it be Sonic Boom Rider Lyric? No, it's not good, but it's surely not the worst. Could it be Sims 2 Apartment Pets? Yes. But other than that, what could it be? The idea of a worst video game is very hard for me to conceptualise because I enjoy most games. I play a lot of games, and I can find enjoyment in all of them. Hotel Mario, for example, the game might not be fun, but the cutscenes are just mwah. Superman 64 is, well, I mean, I don't like Superman, nor do I like Hoops, but, whatever it is you do in that game. But then I hear, development was hard, and I just feel, really bad for the people who made it, so I can't, in a good sense, call it the worst game ever made. Apparently Night Trap's considered to be a bad game. I never thought that. I thought it was more just a movie with buttons, and I quite enjoyed it when I played it on the Switch a few years ago. So I don't see how that could be the worst game ever made. The Simpsons Wrestling sucks, but I'm not sure if that's because the game sucks, or it's because I've developed a really deep hatred for The Simpsons over the past few years. My God, I hate how they all do that stupid fucking smile. And then you also have games made purely for the money and not because someone had a love for what they were doing, like the GTA trilogy. But even then, I'm sure someone enjoys it. That's the thing. Video games, to me, are a form of art, and art's subjective, and it's ever-changing. So is it really fair to say something from the 80s is worse than something bad from this year, since the technology is nothing compared to today? It just doesn't seem fair to me, mostly. So really, that means the worst video game ever made is also subjective. And to me, in my own opinion, the worst game ever made is The Sims 2 Apartment Pets. Why else would I have been complaining about this for the last 5 years of my life?